Thank you so much for joining us this morning for the monthly employment data release media call. My name is Emily Hetherington, Deputy Director of Communications and External Affairs for FloridaCommerce. Joining me is Jimmy Heckman, Bureau Chief for Workforce Statistics and Economic Research. At the conclusion of this presentation, we will be taking questions from credentialed media. To ask a question, please submit it to the Teams chat feature since we will not be able to accept questions through a private chat. We will address as many questions as possible, but if your question is not covered, please email media@commerce.fl.gov and our team will work to get you an answer. Today's presentation is focused on employment data for June 2024. If you have questions regarding other Florida Commerce topics, also use the media@commerce.fl.gov email to connect with our communications and external affairs team. I will now turn it over to Jimmy.
Thank you, Emily. At 10 o'clock this morning, the Florida Department of Commerce released June 2024 labor statistics for the state of Florida, as well as sub-state areas, including all metropolitan areas, counties, and large cities. These data were produced by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics through a federal-state cooperative agreement with FloridaCommerce, and these data were collected through a combination of employer and household surveys, administrative records, and statistical modeling techniques. Florida's unemployment rate, total labor force, and labor force participation rate are published under the local area unemployment statistics program using information collected from the current population survey. These statistics are based on a survey of households, and they capture information about individuals as opposed to jobs, and they are calculated by place of residence as opposed to place of work. Florida's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate in June 2024 was 3.3%. Unchanged from the previous month and up 0.5 of a percentage point from last year. The national unemployment rate was 4.1%, up 0.1 of a percentage point from the up 0.1 of a percentage point from the previous month. Florida's unemployment rate is 0.8 of a percentage point lower than the national rate and has now remained lower for 44 consecutive months since November of 2020. Monroe County had the state's lowest unemployment rate at 2.1%. Followed by Miami-Dade County at 2.7% and Gulf County at 2.9%. Hendry County had the highest unemployment rate at 5.6%, followed by Citrus County at 5.2% and Highlands County at 5.1%. The unemployment rate of 3.3% in June 2024 represented 361,000 jobless individuals out of a labor force of 11,068,000. Total employment in June 2024 decreased by 14,000 or 0.1%, while unemployment remained unchanged. Florida's labor force of 11,068,000, which is composed of all currently employed workers, as well as unemployed job seekers who are actively looking for work, decreased by 13,000 or 0.1% from the prior month. This is the third consecutive month that the state labor force has declined. This is primarily due to increasing retirements among workers aged 55 and older, while participation among the population aged 25 to 54, considered the core working age population, has remained at a high level over the last 12 months. Here we see the over-the-year percent change in the labor force in Florida, shown in blue, compared to the United States, shown in green. As of June 2024, Florida's labor force has grown by 6% or 0.6% over the year, equal to the national labor force growth rate of 0.6% over the year over the same time period. Job creation data for Florida is derived from the Current Employment Statistics, or CES survey, conducted by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The CES survey collects data from over 40,000 establishments in Florida each month to measure jobs by industry across the state. Since these statistics are based on a survey of employers, they measure counts of jobs as opposed to individuals, and they capture characteristics of employers, such as industry and place of work. The total non-agricultural employment in Florida rose to 9,961,900 jobs in June 2024, up 9,900 jobs, or 0.1% from the prior month. This figure is up 196,900 jobs from 1 year ago, which is an over-the-year increase of 2.0%. Florida's private sector employment was 8,808,600 jobs in June 2024, up 6,100 jobs, or 0.1% from the prior month. Total private employment was up 172,700 jobs from June 2023, an over-the-year increase of 2.0%. 6 out of the 10 industry supersectors in Florida gained jobs over the month. Professional and business services gained the most jobs, increasing by 6,000 or 0.4%, followed by education and health services, increasing by 5,500 jobs or 0.4%, and trade, transportation, and utilities, adding 4,300 jobs or 0.2%. Leisure and hospitality lost the most jobs over the month, declining by 14,700 jobs or 1.1%, followed by other services, 1,800 jobs or 0.5%, and information and manufacturing, each declining by 100 jobs. In this graph, we see that over the year change in employment by industry supersector between June 2023 and June 2024, in Florida shown in blue compared to the United States shown in green. The fastest growing Florida industries over the past year were construction at 4.8%, followed by the other services sector at 4.0%, and education and health services at 3.3%. 5 major sectors outpaced national trends over the past 12 months. The top 3 sectors where Florida outperformed national growth the most were other services, trade, transportation, utilities, and construction. The map here shows seasonally adjusted over the month job growth by local metro area in June 2024. 16 of the 24 metro areas in Florida had over the month job gains. The Tallahassee metro area grew at a rate of 1.8% in June 2024, the fastest job growth among all Florida metro areas, followed by the Sebring metro area at 1.4%, Punta Gorda metro area at 7, and the Punta Gorda metro area at 0.7%. The metro areas that added the most jobs in June were the Tallahassee metro area, adding 3,500 jobs, the Miami Beach Kendall metro area, adding 3,100 jobs, and the West Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Delray Beach metro area, adding 1,900 jobs. The areas that lost the most jobs in June were the Orlando, Kissimmee, Sanford metro area, losing 2,700 jobs, the Jacksonville metro area, losing 1,800 jobs, and the Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Daytona Beach, Ormond Beach, Gainesville, Panama City, and Sebastian, Vero Beach metro areas, each losing 100 jobs. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for the FloridaCommerce rate release presentation for June 2024. This concludes the presentation, and I'll be happy to field any questions from Prudential Media.
Okay, from Jim Turner, you pointed to retirements. What other factors are for the drop in the labor force?
Good morning, Jim. Thank you for your question. We really think that retirements are the main driver of some of the drop in the labor force that we've seen over the past few months. We've explored a few other potential areas to try to exhaust those. We've looked at things like discouraged workers that feel like there's no opportunities out there for them. Those numbers have remained really, really low over the past 12 months, and there hasn't been any change in that kind of quadrant of the population really to speak to. And I do want to emphasize again that among workers aged 25 to 54, we're really seeing strong labor force participation numbers, and that has not changed over the past 12 months.
And then again from Jim Turner, what's the primary cause of the drop-off in leisure and hospitality jobs?
And thank you for that question too, Jim. So what we're seeing there is that June is a really seasonal month for most parts of the state in that leisure and hospitality sector. I think one thing to observe there is that despite the drop off in June, over the year, we're still seeing, there are more jobs in that sector in Florida than there were in June of last year. So that kind of points to a little bit of a washout in terms of what we're seeing there over the past year. The seasonality for leisure and hospitality in particular can get a little interesting. And so if we see hiring that happened, seasonal hiring that happened a little bit earlier or later than usual, that can maybe throw off some of the seasonally adjusted data that we're portraying here. Now, all that being said, we did see some job losses in Orlando in leisure and hospitality in June, which is a little bit out of season for that area. That's an area that normally adds a few jobs in June, but we did see losses there in June 2024. And then in the Panhandle metro areas like the Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, Destin area, and Pensacola, those are normal. June is a month where we see seasonal hiring there typically, which we did see, just to an extent that's a little bit more slow than we normally do, and all that kind of led to a combined drop in leisure and hospitality in the month of June statewide.
Again, thank you so much for joining us today for the June 2024 economic data release. If you have any additional questions, please email media@commerce.fl.gov. We look forward to having you for our next economic data release for July 2024 on August 16th, 2024. Thank you and have a good weekend.